Welcome to Read Your Comics. Today I'm going to be talking about The Mighty Magnar by Sergio Aragones and Mark Evanier. So I was at a flea market not too long ago and just digging around, ran across this book for $1. I've actually seen it before on Instagram. I have vague memories of it when it came out, but I'd forgotten about it till I saw it. And it's got a really unique gimmick cover. I'll show it in just a second. Here's the newsstand edition that I saw it too, and I don't usually get both copies, but when I just saw them there together, I was like, why not? They're $1 a piece, whatever. I'll just grab them. So it's kind of cool to have both editions. But here's the cool thing about this. Now, it was sealed up here at the top, and I did go ahead and rip it open because this is the world's first pop-up cover. And it's just such a unique thing. It's Sergio Aragones, well-known author of Drew, did some stuff for Mad Magazine, great humor cartoonist. Mark Evanier. What can you say about him? Kirby historian, has done a lot of other work in comics, and including some good humor stuff. Published by Malibu. This came out in, I believe, 1993. It's funny here if you read this about how the little girl opens it up and this boy is upset because it's not mint anymore because she ripped this where it was perforated, sealed together, which I did too. But I mean, you got to open it up. You got to open it up. Anyway, so let's take a look at this book. It's pretty funny. There's two cartoonists. They are working for, I guess this is supposed to be like a Marvel kind of company, and they keep getting their ideas rejected. The publisher says that they need to come up with basically something more grim and gritty, like he makes like a reference to Slaughterer, who sounds like a Punisher type character and needs to be, just more violent and brutal. And I think they keep coming up with like funny cartoon animal characters and stuff. So anyway, he basically kicks them out. They're worried about how they're going to pay rent. They check their mail. They come up. They've got a neighbor who dresses up in costumes for him to model. You cannot tell he's obviously infatuated with her. And she likes the attention, I guess. Her roommate, not so much. She's a stewardess on a plane, and she's like, you need to stop hanging out with these losers. I'm going to work. So she wants to do some modeling, and he's like, oh, yeah, she inspires me. So, of course, he wants to keep the pretty girl in the furry costume around. They hired this beefcake guy to do stuff, and he seems really uninspired by him. So they go out to get something to eat, and they run across this guy in the alley who's wearing this like odd one-piece suit. And when he starts talking, he's just like saying commercial slogans. Act now. Operators are standing by to take your call. I'm Judy, your Time Life operator. Call now and receive this shoe phone with your order. And that's basically all he's doing. But our cartoonist guy here is really inspired by him. So they take him back home. They get the neighbor girl, who I guess is really into cosplay, and she starts making different costumes for him. They come up with where she's getting the material to make all this stuff is pretty funny. The cosplayers today have 3D printers and stuff that they get to make all these like shoulder pads and wing stuff. She didn't have any of that, but anyway, they finally come up with this slightly generic, got these big feet things, very 90s, random, hip discs, whatever you want to call those. And they name him the Mighty Magnar. He's pretty inspired by it. He starts drawing and stuff. He's still saying cartoon slogans, but it's time for bed. So he's like, hey, why don't you read some comics before you go to bed? So he starts doing that. The next morning, he's read every comic in the collection. So now he's not saying cartoon slogans. He's saying hero slogans. Of course, they think he's crazy, but they're really inspired by him to make their cartoon, their comic. He goes up to the roof and starts believing he's a superhero almost, I suppose. Meanwhile, some like crazy stuff is going on down in the city. The cartoonists head back to the office to show their new thing. I guess it's like so inspired, the guy actually loves it, and he makes some pretty funny jokes about how they need to make multiple covers with different variants and stuff to and pretend that it's going to be rare to sell it. Now we have a mad scientist. He's building like a crazy robot contraption. It falls apart first. It's got some cool like tread on the wheels. Back to our cartoonist. They're wondering where the mighty Magnor is gone. Now we get these other like giant robots invading. Military's coming in to stop them. So now it starts to become like a superhero book, but still pretty cartoony. Some pretty cool pages here. The military doesn't really take it seriously. They're tearing up the town. Here comes the mighty Magnor. He goes in and he punches them. Our cartoonist is, I guess, watching it on the news now, and maybe it's Magnor. He doesn't realize that, yeah, it is. Yep, that's Magnor. Oh my goodness! Magnor is battling two giant space invaders. So they rush down to the scene, and he's battling away. Wham! He's taking them out. His cosplay boots apparently work like jets. He's like, well, what do we do now? We remain calm and collected and in full possession of our senses as we catch the next plane for Peru. So I guess they feel almost responsible for all the damage and they want to get out of there. The news is reporting on it, and I guess he won. So next issue, the origin of Magnor. I don't have that one. If I see it for the same price, I might go ahead and claim that. Magnor's Spot Quiz. Pretty fun little comic. They did some Magnor strips in the Ultraverse books, probably in all the Malibu books at that time. And, it's a fun character. Humor character. I don't know that if I see the others, I'll definitely grab them. Anyway, thanks for watching.